What's up, y'all? Good Monday. Good to see y'all. Listen, y'all. If y'all don't know, this is TFG Tonight, and I'm your host, Mr. Haynes. And this is the best morning show that you can watch at night. Y'all listen, that's Devin, that's Lee, and that's Kenny.
I'm trying to be nice.
Black said we got two Americans.
Say to my brother Black, man, I think you could be a preacher. I ain't never heard somebody that use a curse word and then read a scripture right after.
So let me state for the record, I am a misogynist. You know,
I like to call it, Doc. He's
and I'm a chauvinist as well. Anybody who knows me knows that.
That's right.
Now I can go back to minding my own business. Either that boy is Benjamin Button or somebody lying.
And listen, and that boy may be mentally 12, but he's 34.
You bad boy, you don't do it again.
I'll let Black articulate a little bit better than that.
Nope.
Okay.
Never mind.
It's good for the soul. It's like medicine, right?
Yeah, for real.
That's all I gotta say. I wish I had one of them applause buttons to, like it.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday.
What up, y'all? Hey, it's Monday. And listen, it's the week of Thanksgiving. And there's so much to be thankful for. I am thankful for so much, but I am very thankful to be here with you all on Monday. And I am also thankful that the family's here, minus one guy. And I'll let you guys figure that out. Hey, man. Sir, good to see you. We welcome one back and we lose one. Y'all doing all right?
Yes, sir.
So listen, y'all, Kenny is gonna be gone until next year because he's busy. He playing Santa. So you know what I'm saying? Now not on Tubi, but he just playing Santa. Just getting them coins, right? So
I heard he took Neha up on her offer.
Strange
for some change to get that overtime. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's
listen, she gonna come in here cutting up. Y'all already know. Well, y'all, I am excited to let you guys know we are doing our Black Love series. So please, when you come in, say what's up, like and share. Listen, y'all know we don't hold no punches, and we love each other, so we're gonna tell the truth today. And so we may even have somebody else drop in on us. So if so, then sister, I guess she'll slide over, and then me and Black, I guess we'll play pickleball. Is that appropriate? I don't know. I'm sorry. What's something to this day? Hey, Miss Stacy, good to see you. Good to see you. What's going on, Mr. Real Estate Insider? Thank you, sir.
What's up?
Yeah. So listen, I'm gonna go and drop the bomb early because that's we started getting into it a little early, but then we was like, okay, we'll come back to it tomorrow, next week, and we're gonna get into it. So y'all, we got 3 more episodes left. What up, Craig? What's up, man? Good to see you. I think I'm calculating that right. 1, 2, yeah, we got 3 more left, and then we out of here for the year, y'all. We won't see y'all till after Martin Luther King. So y'all chime in because we excited about talking. So all right, man. So let's start with this one. Well, Black, I'm sorry. Before man, you want to just tell the people how your family's doing because everybody we definitely,
family's doing good. Went supported them. We're healing, but we're doing good. We're resilient. So it was a beautiful thing to come to support my brother. He lost his daughter, but we're doing fantastic.
Good. So y'all, we were praying for him last week, and so he coming back with good news. As good as can be. So good to see you, man, and just thank you so much for pushing through. All right, sister. Now I put a question mark behind this because I don't know what y'all was talking about. Now I don't know what's toxic about masculinity, but give me the rundown of what y'all mean by this. What do you mean toxic masculinity?
I just feel like there's this big fear of so many men to ever be seen in a light that's not masculine. So nothing close to being feminine. We know of dudes who won't even eat a banana in public because somebody might think he gay. We know dudes who feel like if a woman talks to you a certain way, treats you a certain way, it threatens your manhood. If a woman makes more than you, if anybody ever knew it or thought y'all were 50-50 in the household, somehow that's, she's emasculating you. It shows up with your sons sometimes, where there's an expectation of them to grow up being a little tough guy and play football, and you know what I'm saying? Like, God forbid your 4-year-old tell you he want to go hula hoop with the little girls outside and not go throw the football. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
I mean, I think most men understand what toxic masculinity is. I just think it's the toxic word that kind of makes y'all feel.
I will agree with that. Now, let me ask you this before we get into it. So, it is demasculating. Is that real?
It's only real if the man allows it to be real.
Okay. All right. I'll accept that point. Now,
you have to give that woman that power to make you feel a certain way by saying certain things to you or talking down to you or something like that. But I think if you're comfortable in your masculinity, there's not a lot she can say to you to make you want to slap the hell out of him.
Okay, that's okay, thank you for saying that part. Okay, so let's go from there where you at. I agree that there is a power, but here's the balance for me when you make that statement. Vulnerability is if I can say it like that, it's the power source that you plug into that we relinquish the power. If I can say that, because what you guys are wanting us to be a certain way, but if we relinquish that power, that vulnerability, that means then you have the ability to emasculate us or to uncover things that are in. I'll call it insecurity instead of toxic masculinity. That's what I'm gonna say at this point, because you're right. If you're secure in your manhood, no, there's like I say this all the time, like no one can offend me that I don't care about. That's just impossible for you to offend me. Like if I don't care nothing about you, then you can't offend. There's nothing you can say. Now you can say something stupid enough and I slap you. That'll get them hands, you can get some hands put on you. But at the same time, I'll leave that situation and I won't have anything to say. And so I think that you're right. We men, especially black men, this and I won't make excuses, but for whatever reason you have insecurity, it's hard for a woman you care about to say, I'm going to be vulnerable enough, but if you hurt me, then that's going to be real hard to get that back. But Black, where you stand with this? And we'll keep talking. I got a couple more things to say about it.
So for me, by its definition, I would be classified as a toxic male. And I don't see it as me being insecure.
Okay.
I think we've lost this battle. For me, I think we've lost this battle already. What I've witnessed in probably the last 20 years, in my personal opinion, is definitely an emasculation of men. And I think it started somewhere with the talk shows when I think about it. When there was a national push for men to share them feelings, this, that, and the other. Now, then you had the advent of reality TV. And for me, every time I looked up, it became more acceptable for men to, be more effeminate. Now, I do think, and what Sister Devin says, I think a lot of men go overboard. I think some parts of it is ludicrous, the being afraid to eat a banana. I love bananas. I eat bananas pretty much every day. I eat them on camera with Zoom. My feelings about bananas fall more towards racial things than to do about my masculinity, just to be
Right.
honest with you.
Yeah.
That crosses my mind before I think about whether somebody thinks that I'm sucking a dick or something like that. So I don't think about that, because my view of sexuality is different. Having said that, though, I do think it's been a real big push, though, to emasculate men in general. And that push towards, and what gets me angry a lot of times with this is that you can't have it both ways. On the one hand, You want men to be more open and vulnerable and share their feelings, this, that, and the other. And then at the same time, then you also want them to stand up for you, this, that, and the other too. And so I think the message just get mixed somewhere in there, and we just don't have a middle ground. The pendulum keeps swinging one way or the other, and that's where, for me, I think it gets confusing.
Okay, so fair enough. And sister, you want to rebut to that, or can I add something to this right quick?
No, go ahead.
So I want to add this part because I think this is very important. I want to talk about the homosexuality part. Because the reason why I want to add that to it, because like you said, when you talked about the hula hooping or the just the kid, being very sensitive at a young age, there is so much we can go into about that, but it does have to. A lot of it stems because of how homosexuality was presented, and then it was how it was talked about in the masculine arena, right? And then you have to keep in mind that those that were putting on masculinity and then had a lot of femininity in private, again, that in itself is a whole dynamic there also. I just think when you try to make homosexuality acceptable, but at the same time, you should not have to demean a alpha male just because we don't accept it the way everybody else wants to accept it. I'm not homophobic just because I don't agree with the lifestyle. But you got to give me my space. And at the same time, if I'm disagreeing with the homosexual agenda, well, then that don't mean that you then go all, like Black say, go all the way to the other side and call me toxic. No, I don't like chocolate either. So what, am I homo chocolate? I mean, chocolate phobia? No, that's just not what I just think we're just trying to have a mosh pot of things. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. And we're trying to stir it up, and then we're trying to come out, and it's toxic. So I agree that there has to be a balance when it comes to, like Black said, the space of, are we going to be the protector, or are we going to be, the little man child, should I say? But go ahead, bro.
I just wanted to add, for me, this might surprise a lot of people. I consider homosexuality and toxic masculinity two separate issues for me. Okay. Believe it or not. I've been saying this for a long time. I personally don't think there's a such thing as gay and straight anymore. Not in terms of how it's defined. I personally believe, from my own witnessing example, I have friends, I think people like what they like when they like it, personally. And so I don't look at someone, I jokingly talk about gay people, and that's because I'm an equal opportunity offender. But having said that, I honestly don't look at somebody and think because a guy, if he switches, or a woman dresses in hoodies, I don't associate that with their gender at all. I've been down a different road with that. I think what people present and what they like behind closed doors are two completely different things. And so I think people like what they like when they like it. And that's been my experience. When I think of toxic masculinity, I'm kind of talking about where we're eradicating if a guy talks loud or rough, to a woman, and the way he dresses. I'm looking at those things that I have a problem with you trying to strip that away and define toxic masculinity. Because to me, everything that makes me a man, so your term is an alpha male, so the things that make me, I think somewhere in there, we blurred the lines, when I think for me, it's always been acceptable to have things that men do and things women do. This is just my personal opinion. I think it's okay if a woman takes the garbage out, but I consider that a man's role. I consider it a man's role to change a tire, to get dirty. Not that a woman can't do it, but those are things I associate with being masculine. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm okay with the masculine energy. If anybody who knows me, I'm attracted to feminine energy, because the same way we could turn the toxic masculinity on its head, I don't want a woman with masculine energy at all. That does nothing for me. I'm not attracted to it. I don't want to see it. And so if we're gearing even girls towards being more masculine, I'm against that too. But when you start talking sexuality, it gets way more complicated for me.
Okay. So I got one more thing that I want to add to the conversation, because as I begin to think about this through all the time that we had to talk about it, I thought about one more thing, and I thought about gaslighting, and I thought about manipulation. So for me, 20 years ago, toxic masculinity was women talking about men's genitalia and how small it was when they wanted to disagree with a man, or they wanted to make fun of him, even if they were lying. And if they slept, like y'all know how y'all used to do when y'all slept with somebody and then you mad at him and you want to jab him, you just talk about how small he is in front of people. That used to, especially for a man, to your point, that doesn't know how to get past a woman trying to belittle him. Then now we've switched it and made it, now that we know, again, it was all a myth, because some of y'all women can't take the 10 inches. more than not, right? Y'all don't want the big, Leroy's and the y'all talking about y'all choking now. So again, okay. So again, right? So again, we found out that was a lie. So now in my opinion, we've changed it to where now we're not talking about the genitalia, because it was gaslighting. Now we're talking about toxic masculinity. Again, I think we're using it to gaslight people, to manipulate, and to unearth insecurities in men. How far you think I'm taking? I'm taking too far?
I don't know if I equate it to that. I think one of the times when we talked about toxic masculinity, we were also talking about a woman and her what was it? Her count, her sexual partners.
Body count. Yep.
Body count or something like that. And I just think that's when toxic masculinity and misogyny and patriarchy and all that kind of go hand in hand. Because I was actually thinking about it that day, and I was like, this issue's weird, because you telling me that me being with two men is worse than you being with two women who also being with two other men, and my stuff is somehow dirtier than your dirty D that's been around the world and like none of that makes no sense to me. But it's the thought of you visualizing this, the multiple men being on this woman that bother you, but not all the penises that have been shared with her by way of your community ping. Like that's just all.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, that's when I kind of lean into the awkwardness of like toxic masculinity, because if I sleep with 10 virgin men, I'm still worse than the man if I'm a virgin that's been with 10 hoes. Like none of it makes
I would agree. I agree with my sister 1,000%. And therein lies the dichotomy, because it's never going to make sense.
No, it will.
Well, to me,
okay.
I've always said that it's not meant to make sense.
Okay, I'm with you.
Because I've used the expression, is it fair? No. But is it the way it is? It's the way it is. Now, women currently today are trying to reverse that. When you see the videos like WAP and Suki with the good coochie, they're trying to take that power back for them. Bravo to those sisters. And I applaud them in the sense of what their effort is. But at the same time, it's not going to change how I look at it. It's not right, Sister Devin. It's not even sane. But when it comes to those matters, it's not going to be sane, because the way, for a lot of men, myself included, the way I'm going to see it, and I'll say it again, I don't want you to do what I do. It's not sane. I'm admitting that freely and clearly, that I can knock down 60 people and be considered a stud walking around here with my shoulders flaying back, and you can have 10 bodies on you and like, damn, she's a hoe. It's not sane.
And that's And that's
know,
all gaslighting to me, Black.
and so these terms, but that's why again, individually, none of these terms affect me, you
Sure.
know,
Right.
because the same way we've taken the N word, and we've taken a lot of power away from it, you know, any of these terms don't apply to me. I've never been one to be affected by that, you know.
Right.
So I've always been very secure in that, whatever, you know. Number one, I ain't got to lie on my dick, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, you know. And whether it was hard or soft or not big enough, if it plopped itself in your head and tail, then that was good enough for me.
Oh man.
All right. Gaslighting to me kind of lends itself to me to the fact that women are usually so nurturing and forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I go back to my dumb days, it's been a while.
Not dumb days.
It's been a while. I had some dumb days where I was naive and all of that crap. And when my ex, where I could literally catch him in a situation where I saw him doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing, or he came home with like a hickey on him. I mean, my dumb days. Like now, he couldn't even look at me. Like I'm like I would laugh, you know, as I'm packing his or my stuff. Like I wouldn't even have that sort of conversation with a dude today.
Right.
But back in the day, I remember catching that individual in one of those types of situations, and by the end of it, I apologized because he convinced me that somehow he going through a lot, and you don't trust me, and all the stuff I do for you, and you're gonna let somebody that's a nobody come out of the household and tear us down. You see how you do me? As much as I love you and these kids, and I treat y'all so good, and F you don't appreciate nothing. You know what I ain't? And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb with 3 capital D's. Just dumb. And that's kind of where I lend myself to gaslighting, because some women can be so easily manipulated because we're so nurturing, and we're just that type of people where we feel like we need to take care of you. And oh my God, I can't make my man feel bad. Now I don't give a damn. I cuss you out from here to Albuquerque and back. I don't care. But back then, I cared, because now I feel like if you don't care about me or respect me, I shouldn't have to respect you. But that's another reason why that me and toxic masculinity don't do well together, because in the real world, you can't do that.
Sure. Yeah. It's okay. So this is the dog chasing its tail. That's why I wanted this first, because if we can't get to the other stuff because of this, then whatever. But yeah. So here for me is the reason why the body count issue is so, again, it exposes a man's lack of confidence in himself. Again, the insecurity, because that's where men mostly get their validation from, like I said last week. Like, and so again, if you have an insecure man that hears that, like, it don't bother me, you know what I'm saying? Because again, okay, I don't take all that, but here's the thing: you take the fact that what you're going to give them, all these people had it, and he already weak-minded or whatever he is. It's like he already struggling mentally. It's like he damaged goods anyway. So my thing is, if you got a toxic man, then it ain't really toxic. You just got a fool, a damaged man that you don't even need to be fooling with. That's who it shouldn't matter what the number is, like y'all said, because it's all myths about why we thought that was. And so at that point, if you can't please her, well, that's your fault. Again, maybe it is size. I don't know, but that's the thing.
I'm gonna disagree with some of that. I'm gonna disagree with some of that. And again, that's the beauty of this. We agree to disagree. You know, I'm gonna disagree with some of that. You know, but anyway, we could go down rabbit holes on this one, but for sure. But no, I'll disagree with some of that.
Okay, no, and again, it's good for conversation, but I think we're taking it a lot further than the manipulation of it, and then also the exposing. See, Devin, the fact that you said your dumb days. See, you got days, but people got the dummy, right? that way all day, every day, and that's the problem, because you can't be honest with somebody because of their own level of insecurity. Again, whatever they were taught. So it's, again,
as you move on to the next subject, I can make an argument that those roles also have reversed now too, and that there are women out there now that have the high, that are not your near bed posts. you know, and there are a number of men now that are looking for something monogamous, you know, and that it's kind of the trends have reversed in some ways where, to your point, Sister Devin, the dumb days, it's women now that's saying, look, this is me, get on this train or get off this train, but I'm going to do me. You know, I'm out here single in these streets, and that's real talk. That's what it is. I can be with somebody and think I rang that bell.
Yeah.
And I could walk away, so to speak, thinking I did a pretty damn good job. And at the same time, I've had you now. Yeah, you did do okay.
Right.
I might even see you on the back end, but now I'm looking for something else. That's where we're at now.
Yeah.
This new sexual revolution, it's a lot going on out here in these streets, folks.
Yeah. And I think it's just a ball of yarn, but it's really not a ball of yarn. It's just a whole lot of yarn tangled up that's all obviously attached to one way or another. We just hadn't figured out how to unravel the yarn, if I can just say it like that. So I'm just trying to unravel the yarn a little bit if I can. But yeah, and again, it's going to lead to some of these other conversations that we have. You're going to kind of see, as Black was saying normally in our conversation, how this organically begins to kind of take this shape of, oh wow, I didn't really think about connecting all these dots and how these things can begin to affect one another, right? So yeah. Now, Miss Tori, Miss Stacy, we can't get into all the spiritual side of things, and that's just another yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing y'all the finest minds I can to talk about these things, and so we'll just talk about it. What are men and women's most afraid of in relationships? I'll give y'all a second to think about it. For me, I used to, I still do, just as a man when it comes to relationships. Number one, I don't like making mistakes, but ultimately, what I'm most afraid of is failure, and it's a little nearsighted, a little short-sighted, only because just again how we grew up. I didn't grow up with a lot, and so I don't like. I want to be successful, but success has changed in my mind. You know what I'm saying? From me being younger now today, and so I know failure is not without its place. I failed, of course. I just don't like it. And so when things are going wrong in relationship for me, that used to bother me so much that, you know, I just sometimes wouldn't even deal with things. And so, and again, it affected, because if I fail in my job or something, or I fail to spend the money correctly, and then now you got a girl coming to you, nagging you, barking, it's like, I don't need you to help me, beat myself up for failing. But I'm saying that's not the type of relationship, again, and that breeds the toxicity of it. So for me, and then that caused us to always have some level of resentment towards each other because of the issue. So that's just one thing. But Black or sister, it don't matter.
Go ahead, Black.
What's crazy is to hear you say that. I used to feel that way, and I've already failed. I failed at the second most important decision I ever made in my life. I failed at my marriage. I consider my relationship with God my most important decision when I got baptized. And even though, sitting before you as a true practicing sinner, believe it or not, I still have in my mind and heart, a very strong relationship with God, believe it or not.
Yeah.
A lot of people may be surprised to know I pray every day. For my family, for my friends. I'm very thankful for the simple things. So, I haven't failed at that. I don't feel I failed at my marriage, so much so that it devastated me. And which brings me to answer this question. My biggest fear, and the more I thought about this, I think in people in general, in my opinion, is commitment. I think the goalposts have moved so much so when it comes to what relationships are, and they've changed now. I fear commitment. Commitment for me means that I've got to hold myself accountable. And you know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of going all in with somebody and they not being all in with me.
God, don't get in my You bring it up a topic.
And
yeah.
so I'm giving you asked,
Yeah.
so I'm giving
Oh
it to
no,
you.
yeah, come on, yes sir.
It's,
Yeah.
To keep it perfectly honest with you, it's easier to fly by the seat of my pants and do what I do, and to usher them in and usher them out. Because I literally get terrified. This hadn't happened in a long time because I haven't been in a relationship. But when I've been in situations where it was getting serious, there's a fear that come over me, like, oh my God, where's this leading to? Am I going to have to commit to this?
Yeah.
And if I do, and I open that door up all the way to who I am, is she going to reciprocate?
Vulnerability.
Because I don't want to put myself in that position where I was all in and I failed. And that's the most terrifying thing to me. And so I'm fighting this right now, even as a 55-year-old man. On the one hand, I want to be with somebody, but on the other hand, it's so much easier to just travel this road alone and keep doing what I do. And so that's my fear.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you, Miss Stacy, and I understand exactly what you're saying. And that's the dynamic and the complexity of human beings. We all don't have the same lots. We don't all have the same concerns. And again, that's why you have to find that balance between you and that other person that kind of helps you. Because again, but yeah, come on, sister. We get into this thing.
I don't have a fear of commitment because commitment is easy for me in any situation, whether it's my job or relationship, this show, like whatever. I'm just easily committed and loyal. That's just who I am to a default because I live my life by the saying of I always treat people and things the way I want to be treated, even though I know that's not reality because I'm not going to get what I give in every situation. So commitment to me is easy. What I fear is being 100% vulnerable in a situation and being betrayed or not knowing the person that I'm sleeping with or laying next to. That is my biggest fear. And I am a married woman who has a fear of being vulnerable. Make that make sense. Because I've been betrayed so many times in situations where I'm all in. Definitely committed regardless, but where I'm all in as far as being vulnerable and just getting crushed. And that is just something that I don't do well with: betrayal, rejection, being lied to. And you can be in a relationship with a person, guys, for years and not even know the person that you're with.
And it's funny that you say that because that's the thing, and that's why I don't appreciate people's opinion that I don't care about. Because if you don't know me, then why would you have an opinion about me? You know what I'm saying? That just makes no sense to me. Like you don't even that's like. Well, anyway, I don't want to start cutting up, but yeah, I don't. Right? I don't understand. It's hard for people. For me to hear people tell me how they would act in someone else's relationship when you're not the same person. Like I don't expect people to be me. That's why Devin, when you made that statement about, like you saying, being committed, like I wouldn't question what you are, but I said, see, I wouldn't even be in that. Like I wouldn't even want to be in that type of relationship because it would take us so long to get there because I'm always assessing things. So it's like, I'm like, well, no, they'll be jumping hoops for me. Like I start people out of zero. Every relationship, I start y'all out of zero. I don't get nobody on 100, right? I got folks that so far in the negative they wouldn't even try to pay that debt, right? But I just don't do that. So when I hear people, I just hear behaviors, and I can understand. You're right. You are 1,000% committed to whatever you put your mind to do. I'm a testament to this show. You're right. And so I get who you are. But the thing is that we got to become more self-aware. See, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at 3 self-aware people. That's something that, again, when you're trying to have expectations for, dummies on both sides, right? There's silly women and silly men. You can't have expectations that you saw on Tyler Perry's movie. You just can't do it. You gotta do the work. So if like Stacy said, if the red flags are showing, well then don't go colorblind on me. Again, that's just not what it's gonna be, right? It's just not gonna be that way. Yeah. Go ahead.
I wanna go to back to Devin's fear and highlight what Craig had to say. Craig says infidelity is one of my biggest fears, along with my woman losing respect for me. Couple that with what I think about what Devin says. See, with me, Sister Devin, I'm not committed to very much anymore. Not even my job. Who I've become now is my minds have changed. That's why I'm glad you even brought in things other than just relationships. You know who I am now, even with my job? I'm going to give you an honest day's work, no more, no less. Do you know why? I've been burned by my job. I've given so much of myself for years to a job, to this, that, or the other, only to not be given this equal in return. So I did make a conscious decision somewhere in there to become this person. So when I think about what Craig says, Craig, I love what you have to say. That's not me. I never even, people might be shocked to hear me say this. I don't even think about infidelity being a factor in there. I accept that that's a part of it for me. I know that's a effed up way to look at it, but it really is how I view it. I go into it thinking that, okay, well, shit, if you want to get your bell rung by somebody else, follow my 3 rules. Don't bring me anything. Screw somebody on my level and don't get caught. I'm okay with that. You know, and as far as you losing respect for me, I got enough respect for the both of us. I am so grounded in who I am. I don't give a damn about what you think of me. I built this life around me in such a way that I'm self-contained. I'm independent in a way, and that's not a great thing, but it is uniquely what makes me me. So that's why for me, it really is the commitment part of it for me. It's just that terrifies me. That scares the shit out of me.
Wow.
Quick rebut to that. And I agree with you. And I've been there with jobs, trust me. Because here's my problem. When I commit to you in anything that I do, when I'm loyal to you and you betray me or you reject me or I discover I don't know you, I no longer give a damn. But you're never gonna know. But you're never gonna know that I don't give a damn.
Okay.
I'm working in the background on my not give a damn.
Gotcha.
And then I start telling myself, what's the worst that could happen? You know,
Gotcha.
here, you know, like, you're gonna fire me? Okay, then I get unemployment for a little while and take a break. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, once you show me what I truly mean to you, and I was watching a reality show and it was funny because it summed me up. I have a really bad habit, a really horrible habit of thinking I mean more to people than I actually do. And I assume that I mean the same to people that they mean to me.
Yeah.
To my own detriment. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you gave birth to me, I gave birth to you, I met you yesterday. My problem is once you show me who you are, I can't come back from that. I will never think of you the same. I don't care who you are. And I even told my children that I don't function well in rejection or betrayal or lack of appreciation of me and who I am. I don't know how to come back from that. And I don't think a counselor can teach me. Maybe it's because I'm a Libra. I don't know. I don't give a damn. Once you show me what I mean to you, okay. Now, I may not walk away at that time. My last marriage, it took me a year to walk away. I knew I was done with his ass forever. But I was planning in the background how I'm going to get out of this and just look out for myself. That's who I become once you wronged me. I started looking out for me and how I can benefit from you till I'm done with your ass. That's who I am.
I walk immediately. I walk immediately. I never have understood people who stay in relationship and try to figure it out and we working it out. For me, to your point, once the trust is broken, I'm done. We ain't gonna argue. We're not gonna fight. And that I'm the same way with a job. I'll quit and be fucking jobless. Oh, excuse me. But for me, it's that day. I'm impulsive in that sense that once I make the decision, I moved to Atlanta with that same level of epicness. You know, I woke up one Wednesday and said, I don't want to be here another hour. I packed what I could in my truck, drove my car up on a thing, and I left it all behind. I never looked back.
And my point is, I'm not impulsive. That's something I never learned. Which is something I've always wanted to learn. I'm too busy having to write out a plan before I leave.
Gotcha.
I'll just go out on a limb. We kind of know who Devin's favorite character was on Waiting to Excel, right? Yeah. Smoking and doing, yeah. Y'all, we know it. So listen, fellas, y'all keep them car windows up, man. And again, I'll apologize to everyone because this is the thing you're getting in this moment. You're getting people who analyze. So I don't have impulsive, ignorant people talking right now. And that may be somebody y'all dealing with. So I apologize up front that I don't have that personality on here so y'all can hear the fools. But y'all seen enough on TMZ and Shade Room. So y'all know what fools do, the Christian rocks and all. But you're getting people who talk through things. And as you can see, if you have a good conversation with somebody, you can really find out how to skin that cat. Is that
very true?
Okay. But
very true.
Yeah. So that's the thing. We're not putting in the time, and it's even worse now because everything is so immediate, right? Whether it's dating, whether it's sex, everything is just like this now. And so y'all don't realize that this doesn't help longevity at all, because if you're spending 2 and 3 months, 8 and 9 months with somebody that you hadn't even asked them, why they mom and daddy ain't together, because y'all done screwed for the last 8 months. It's like, okay. Anyway, what'd you say? Birdie was my favorite character. Was she? And again,
now Birdie was Angela Bassett, right?
Mm-mm.
Was that Birdie?
No.
Who was Birdie?
That was I think the one with the
Who's Birdie?
Either one with the bald head or the light skinned girl that got
Birdie was Angela Bassett.
That's what I'm thinking too, right? Yeah.
You're thinking about high pitched voice.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It's been
so
long.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yes. Stacy said y'all kind of thinking like so. Maybe it is Birdie. Okay. Well, listen. Everybody is afraid of something, and if you're not, then you're afraid to tell the truth. If you tell me that, then you're afraid to tell the truth, and there we got you. Hi, y'all. So I'm just saying. We got to know these things, ladies and gentlemen, and then you got to know if that's something you want to deal with. Because again, if you want to deal with Black, then just know it's gonna take y'all a long time for y'all to commit. If you're gonna deal with Devin, you just better make sure you know that once you commit, you better not get out because I'm gonna kill you.
That's
And that took 2 minutes. I got that, Okay, she said it was Angela. Okay, all right. Well, Birdie, I don't know why. I don't know. I thought that. Okay, so listen, we again talking about being honest. Here it is. We grown. I'll give y'all 30 seconds till your kid get out the room because I told my son he can't come up here. He's nosy. I mean, good night, he's nosy. So okay, I just want to know, is this a thing? I don't think I've experienced it. Maybe I have.
Yeah. You did.
Oh, and every woman says that. I love it. And look, she ain't lying. Every woman I ever known, they said, "Oh yeah, you have."
Okay, well then fine. Then tell me then. Here we keep it 100. How in the world is it that we didn't know, or even what's the point? What are you doing it for? What's the point of doing that?
Because we tired and we want you to go to bed, and you waiting on us to finish so that you can finish, so that we can go to bed. And we trying to cater to and feed your ego, because in your mind, if I don't quote unquote finish, that you ain't done your job, and that's gonna make you feel some kind of way. Now, I will say, in my big age today, I don't do that no more. Like, I ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like,
right.
It ain't happening. You just go on and do what you gonna do so we can go to bed, because shit, I gotta go to work. So I don't do that no more. But if it's for some reason something that may take longer than usual, I mean, I know how you wouldn't know if it's real or not real, because let's be honest, women don't do what men do when we quote unquote finish. You ain't gonna see the same outcome. It is what it is. You don't know.
I like that look on his face. I love it.
See,
we feeding your ego.
What? No, say that again. You did what?
We feeding your ego.
And that's what you're supposed to do.
I don't disagree with you. I actually agree with you 1,000%. Welcome to the show, Miss
Yeah,
Candace.
yeah, yeah. So, hey, Miss Candace Green, y'all,
Hey.
you doing all right, man?
I'm good. How's the sound?
You sounding
We
good.
can- yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just think, like I said,
It's a little
I'm
reverb in the back, but
yeah, I'm gonna do what I said we're gonna do. When you get ready to say something, I'm gonna just do that. That way we won't hear all that. So let me let Black come in. I ain't gonna let you catch up. We already halfway gone. So, but we'll put you in on since y'all we want to talk about this faking and shaking and carrying on. But come on, Black, because I got some pushback on this one.
that's why I loved your face, you know, especially Sister Devin, when you said women y'all don't react the same way when y'all finish. And
Right.
sometimes, and that there's some truth to that. But now, if you halfway know what the hell you're doing, you're gonna get enough of a reaction where you should be able to tell whether or not you've done your job or not. Having said that, now I've maintained my whole life women are smarter than men. And I'm glad you said this is my personal belief. This is my personal belief. You know, and some things now.
All right.
Now, I think you should feed ego, but I'm not even going there with that. I faked it many, many times. Contrary to popular belief, all pussy ain't good pussy.
Now I agree with that. Now listen, brother, I'm gonna take a
you know, and sometimes it's just a hole. Sometimes you got a little smell to it.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't know what the hell she doing. And sometimes I'm just in it to pass the time as well. And so believe it or not, sometimes I'm paying her a compliment. And Lord knows I have knocked off many that I'm doing it just because it was a number to do. Full disclosure, I've done numbers, you know. So sometimes it's just something to do. And so my thing, it had nothing to do with her. And my thing is, forget her laying there. You're a vessel. Yeah, I hate to say it that way. Now, again, to your point, Sister Devin, as I've gotten older, age, sex means something completely different to me now than it used to back then. But yeah, faking it happens, I think, on both ends of it. And especially now that I've gotten older, I feel the exact same way you said, that now that marathon sex, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Let's get to it, cut to the chase. Because again, I gotta go to bed.
Prove here, like, I mean.
And so I actually feel that way too as a man at this point, that look, we're not doing all that. If you need somebody to be carrying you around and throwing you all around, go get somebody else, you know. And so let's get to it. Let's get our satisfaction into it and go on about our business. So yeah, there's a certain amount of faking it that happens with men as well.
All right. Hey, Miss Demi, good to see you. And happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Now, before I carry on, Miss Candace, go ahead and share with us.
My experience of faking in the bedroom or how I feel about it.
Not so. No. I want to know your story. Okay, well, Black one.
You don't want to know my experience? I don't believe in faking in the bedroom. I feel like that's a waste of time to go. I mean, because you're mixing with one another. That's you go in there and you go in the bedroom, you get to playing around. That's how we create those toxic situations. Because sex is real powerful. You know, so you have to have intent before you even get in there. You have to be responsible, disciplined. You know, I sound like Mother Goose when it comes to that, but I don't do no. Don't come over here faking in my bedroom.
Okay, right.
Can I tell you a secret though? Can I tell y'all a secret? Brent, Black. Women have an ego too. If you don't finish, it's gonna bother me a little bit because I'm gonna think there's something wrong with me. First of all,
absolutely.
But on the flip side of that coin, ejaculate is the nastiest, grossest, most unnecessary-ish ever created. What's the point of it? We ain't supposed to see it, smell it, touch it, be near it. So if I can get you to finish and not have to experience that nasty, I prefer it. Just tell me before we start that that's not going to happen so that I could be happy, because it will be cleaner, less wasteful. I don't have to sit on the toilet for 30 minutes to wait for this nasty itch to come out or wash it off of me in the shower. It smell like bleach and baking powder, and don't nobody have time for that.
Okay, I got to go here then. Now, for the record, we've had this conversation on my show.
Yeah.
Immediately after I come, I have to go wash. I can't lay in it, all that kind of stuff. Having said that, I'm gonna say it how I feel it. You're a different breed, Miss Devin. The women I deal with, they want it in their face, in their hair. They want to drop a drop. They love it. They freaking love it. My thing is they squeeze the damn thing till ain't no more in there. Damn, baby, ain't nothing left in there. Let it go. And then they looking at me like I got more to give. So when you talking about it's nasty, oh my God.
Okay, just a second, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a test. This is only a test. This has been a test. Thank you.
And
not
Real Estate Insider, men speak up, because do you know, Sister Devin and Sister Candace, that's where sex I used to think I was nasty. I ain't nasty enough for these women no more. I'm not nasty enough for them anymore. That's really what they want. I'm not even there anymore. They there for the juice. So you say what's nasty? Thank God I'm a diabetic because my shit tastes sweet, I'm told, but thank God, you know.
Okay. All right. I thought I was doing reset, but okay. I don't know where we went, but okay.
Men, speak on it.
Well, let me just move on. I don't. Okay, so I'll just
your own lips. How about that? Just spray the shit on your own face, on your own lips. Do that. You can do that.
You know the crazy part about it? I don't want it on me. That's why I'm gonna wash myself off. But
okay,
that's what I'm saying, because you know it's like acid. Like somebody put acid on you or something. Like,
all right. This will continue on Real Talk for Real Men on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. this coming Wednesday. So y'all be thankful Thanksgiving. So before y'all go eat, y'all
put that comment. Thank you.
She say black is right. I guess. So I'll say this, and then we'll move on. You heard 4 different opinions. I think me and Miss Candace see it one way, and Black and Devin see it one way, and I don't think there's no need to take it no further than that. We'll keep on moving, because I don't even know where we would find us. We would find ourselves probably in Black's dungeon somewhere.
Wow,
we kept going with this.
Wow.
Now see, here it is. So because Black brought it up, and again, it was already on my mind. And I'm going to preface this with saying this, because I think this is a generality for me, and I think this is what the problem is. I would like this to be more specified, because I don't believe all men are dumber than women, and vice versa. I don't think all women are smarter than men, but I also don't believe that all men, well, I just said both sides. I don't think that I don't think it's gender specific. Now, I do believe that there are people who are together who your man is a lot slower than you are. But if you go to another relationship and you date somebody differently, I don't want to hear you talk to me as though you talking to that slow man of yours, because I'm not slow. Like, I get it. And I make sure that you understand what's going on. And again, I know women talk real fast, and you got your slow man and he can't pick it up. But listen, you see these 2 guys right here? We can pick it up and put it down real quick, just like y'all. That don't make me gay. Right? Again, that's that gaslighting stuff. No, I'm just intellectually, I get it together. So, but my thing is, are we generalizing when we say women are really smarter than men? I know the statistics, but I'm just asking. That's not, because listen, and I don't mean no harm if one of these women ever watch this show. Most of the women that's probably sleeping with Black, I don't think they're going to be categorized in all these areas, because they just don't run like that. I know you done knocked down some real smart women now. Don't get me wrong, but I know you done went to the jungle deep, signified monkey, stepping on the lion's feet to get some of them places. So, I get that, but I'm just asking: are we generalizing this, and is it appropriate? Miss Candace, what are your thoughts?
We're really smarter than men. I think women are in their own lane, and they may be smarter than men. They're just more nurturing, I think. I wouldn't say that they're smarter than men. They're just better than men in certain areas, and vice versa.
Okay.
Men are better in certain areas, and it should be complementary to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with
That creates a mommy son type of relationship when you categorize a woman being smarter than a man.
And why you say the mommy son though?
Because when you think of a mommy son type of relationship, she's the teacher. She's not the student in a lot of situations. So you don't want to. No, I don't think it should be gender specific like that.
Now, I love that point you just said, because I agree with you, because even in that moment, what you just said, that brings about that thought process of women making men projects. I get that, because that yeah, hold on, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's called fixing them. You ever had a woman come into your life and want to fix you?
Well, she ain't with me no more. Yeah.
They don't work out. Relationships don't ever work out.
Take me as I am, like the church say, come as you are. Well, we come with whatever we got. I mean, Black, is this, what do you think?
So when I say it, I'm not talking cerebrally. Now, we can do statistics if you want. I work in education. We all know that Black women are the most educated women on the planet. You know, they get degrees at a disproportionate rate than men. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're smarter. I mean it in this sense, though, when I use that expression. You've heard the term before, behind every good man is a good woman or a powerful leader. And then I don't know if you've ever seen this movie with Mel Gibson called What Women Want or something like that, where he had this little freak accident and he could hear what women think, this, that, and the other. And one of the things in this movie it talked about, and he discovered, you know, getting inside a woman's head, women, he talked about how he was an ad exec. He said, women worry and they think about things all the time. And I find that to really be true. A little while earlier, I talked about being impulsive, Sister Devin. I think my experience has been, as a man, I live for today. Women think in many cases about, well, what's going to happen if, and what does this mean, and where are we going from here, this, that, and the other. When it comes to certain aspects of relationships, I do think women think more long-term. They think a little bit more cerebrally, you know, whereas men, we just kind of go with the flow. And so in that sense, that's what I'm talking about. But if you ask in a general sense, do I think women are smarter than men? Not necessarily, you know, because I think one of the comedians, he made a good point too. When you're dealing with men and women, I think men want to lean towards reason while women lean towards feelings. And so I do think it's complementary in that sense, you know. So in that sense, you know, if we're going to just answer it in a direct way, no, women, nobody's smarter. But I do think God in his, just as one time I'll reference, you know, religion. I think God in his infinite wisdom, that's why he made us a pair, you know, because I think women complement men in that sense. And so even when I was married, or even in good relationships, it was a beautiful thing to have somebody to balance out those deficiencies that I had in my personality.
I'm sorry I moved you down. My brain wasn't processing. I needed that to aesthetically look this way. I know, it's just my brain. All right, sister, go ahead.
Literally, no. I don't think women, just as far as your brain, are smarter than men. However, I do believe that women are much more mature than men, and we mature much quicker than men. And that's why when it comes to a lot of women, even in the situations where I said I was dumb as a box of rocks, you know what I'm saying? I started thinking about, you know, how I'm making other people feel and how I'm ruining circumstances. If I do this, then that's going to happen. If I do that, then that's going to happen. And that's also why you have a lot of women who, you don't hear about women cheating in a relationship as much as you do a man. And it has nothing to necessarily do with the fear of the man leaving you, because yes, that is possible. But we start thinking about the what are the outcomes of this? What's going to happen if I cheat on him? Even if he doesn't leave me, this is what can happen. That is what can happen. I would never hurt him the way that would hurt me. I would never want to make someone feel that way. And even if you think about it, your whole life, you've always heard that women are more mature than men, and that's why a woman that's 18 can date a man that's quote unquote 30, which I think is trash. But that's why you hear that type of thing, because you hear that women are just technically more mature than men, and that could be more logical, more, things like that. Because I mean, if you truly think about it, if you put an 18-year-old girl in a house, and let's say she's got 3 or 4 siblings, and God forbid something happens to that mom, that 18-year-old girl somehow usually always knows how to pick up and become a caretaker for that family, and they somehow continue to stay afloat. If that happened to an 18-year-old boy, it don't normally work like that. Then we got to go live with granny and auntie and stuff like that. And a lot of that's embedded in us socially, because that's not supposed to be the role of a man or a boy to mature quicker. It's almost, you're told that a man doesn't have to mature quicker. You hear these dumbass, toxic ass sayings, boys will be boys, and you're not supposed to be that person. You were never trained in your life to be a caretaker. You weren't trained and never had to mature quickly. You never mature until you have to mature. I think I just watched some dude on YouTube. He's like 50 now, and he cheated on his wife years back, and they had 4 kids, and she just was devastated. And his answer was, it takes us longer to mature. I didn't think about the consequences and how it would hurt my family and what it would do to my kids. And because he didn't care, because all he cared about was himself. Now, I don't know if y'all want to call that a maturity aspect or, just selfish or whatever. So I don't think we're technically smarter, but I think we're more mature. In the workforce, there's a lot of ways that I do think that we're smarter. We just aren't given those opportunities, but that's a patriarchy thing more than it is anything else. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on the circumstance. And in a relationship, a lot of women are smarter than a man. Like I'm not somebody who will ever look through your phone, look on your computer. Look, I don't give a damn what you do. But you can come in the house one day and do something that's a millimeter off of what your normal routine is, and I'm gonna go, and I know you ain't right. You know what I'm saying? But I know of women who've been cheating on their husbands for years, don't have a clue.
I'm glad you said that, because I would maintain that women cheat
hotel on another floor than her husband. She was upstairs, another floor from her husband, then went back downstairs with the kids. He never had an inkling. So we are smarter than men in some ways when it comes to that.
So that's the pushback I'll have. So again, so even on a cheating aspect, I think women cheat just as much, but I think women are slicker. Now, if you want to call that smarter, okay, but I think they're slicker. And I've always maintained my little saying, you got to stay 3 steps ahead just to keep up. And then to Sister Candace's point, where she talked about that mother-son relationship, the question I would ask about, when you talked about the maturity of an 18-year-old girl versus an 18-year-old boy, a lot of that is due to going back to the first topic of toxic masculinity and things like that. Are these young men being raised in households where they're not being taught, and, you talk about that mother-son relationship. We have far too many relationships where the mother is raising a son like he's her man, or she's doing too much for that boy and not allowing him to take on the responsibilities that will make him a better man. And so then we sit here now and we want to say that an 18, 19-year-old woman is more mature. Then you look at the situation with P. Diddy and Cassidy. She was dating a 35-year-old man, and all while she was in it for 10 years, we heard no inkling of it. But now you want to go back in hindsight and say you was just a girl. You can't have it both ways. Either you was mature enough to be in that relationship or you wasn't. And so I think, it gets a lot deeper in those aspects. I agree with you. I do think women are, by and large, more mature, but I think there's reasons for that. And I've even talked about that integral relationship between mothers and sons, where I see mothers do way too much for these young men. They don't require them to clean up, to get a job, to do certain things. And then these men go out there and they get presented. They're looking for a girl to do the same thing that their mom was doing for them. That's why I'm harder on my son, because the world is not going to be as forgiving.
Mm-hmm. Did you have something to say, Miss Candace?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in a relationship, the proper order. Okay. So just to talk about the maturity of a woman and why she's in that lane, the proper order of a relationship. If there's cooperation between a man and a woman, there's a reason why the man is the face of the relationship and he's the head. There's a reason why she's behind him too. A lot of the time, I usually identify a husband and wife based off of how much that husband trusts the woman enough to listen to her, because she's going to guide him, direct him in the proper places if there's cooperation and not competition or no toxicity. So I think that plays a huge part. I think there's still a little bit of mothering in us, even when we get with a husband or when we get with a partner. But if it's used correctly, then it's to help guide that man where he's going, what he can't see behind him, what he can't see on the side of him, the things that may blind him from the front. He needs to be able to trust her enough to be able to operate properly, and then vice versa the same way. So we were made perfect, I think, men and women. But we just have to properly use what we were given, I think, and we take advantage of it a lot. We use it to fight each other, and we use it to, like I said, to be in competition, to be in the ego. That's not what it's made for. And then we have conversations like this where you got the Cassies and the Diddies, and then you have the women fixing the men or taking care of the men, or the single mom. I'm a single mother, and I have one child, and he's 11 years old, and it's definitely a struggle. I struggle with it every other day because I didn't plan for things to turn out that way, but with it just being me and him, I don't always have somebody here to put me in my place or to check me on what I need to. So I know that what we have going on right now, it's not the best scenario as far as his growth and his maturity when he gets older. But doing the best we can over here. But I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah, and keep doing the best you can. Listen, I say this: I'd rather for you to do the best you can and get a fool to pretend that he can. And so, go on, sis.
And I know we're not talking about that topic, but the Cassie and Diddy situation, I don't think that has anything to do with maturity. That was manipulation about money. It was all about money. It wouldn't matter if both Cassie and Diddy were 19 years old. Diddy controlled her with money and resources and power. That's all that was. If Diddy was the age that he was and broke as hell and lived with his mama, I don't think she would have allowed him to treat him that way. But because he felt like she controlled her future and where she was going in life, and could introduce her to certain powerful people to take so that her career will take off. I think that's why she tolerated those behaviors. R. Kelly must ask, if he wasn't R. Kelly and didn't have the power to link these women to certain folks and help their career take off, they wouldn't have dealt with his dirty deed behind all those years. It was because of who he was. A woman would never allow a man who's a quote unquote nobody when she's a somebody. A Cassie that looks like a Cassie with that preference look, we're just gonna call it what it is, wouldn't even talk to a broke Diddy, wouldn't have anything to do with a Diddy. He couldn't even roll down the window and ask her name if he was broke Diddy. If he was just
completely. I disagree completely. And I would make an argument that she manipulated him. I would make an argument that I think that certainly because he was rich and powerful, but I would make an argument that she saw what she can get out of it. And when she looked back in retrospect, that 10 years later, so now you see him giving Maybachs to a whole like Young Miami. Oh my God, I didn't get as much out of it. It's a money grab. And then my man Kels, I'm a nobody. I ain't rich and I ain't famous. I got away with all the same shit he did. And I ain't nobody.
Because of what they felt like you could offer. It may not be money with you. It may be protection. Because let's be honest.
I ain't protected now. Sometimes they just want to be pissed on.
There's something about a black, or you. I'm going to be honest with you, black. I'm just going to tell you the truth. That if we were to date someone like you, or even a Brenton, there's something about you, even with you talking shit, that feels safe and secure in that moment. Because I'm with this dude that's intelligent, that has something of power, and maybe he might like me in my smelly cuckoo if I just keep doing this for him because I feel safe in his space with everything that he has. I don't think Cassie felt this way today. I think Diddy's been supporting her career all these years. That hoe had one song, couldn't sing or dance. And from that one
I
song,
agree with
she
you on
was
that
living
part.
in Calabasas,
Mhm.
and she was living a good life. And ain't done nothing in her life to deserve that. I think for some reason, either the money cut off or she quit making the money and she needed some more, or he stopped paying her. Who knows what
We
happened?
agree with that part. I think it's a money grab, but I just don't see her as a victim. I just don't see her as a victim. Now, if you asking, was the relationship toxic? I believe so. I've said many times, it wouldn't do for me to be a billionaire. I would be the most vindictive, controlling SOB around here. Absolutely, no doubt about it. With that money, it would come power. And I truly understand what you're saying. I just don't see her as this victim that she's portraying herself. And the only reason I brought age into it is that she brought it up. She's the one that mentioned that when she was 19 and she dated him at 35. You went into that knowingly, and you dated the man for 10 years. I hate the Me Too campaign with every fiber of my being, because you don't get to go back and retrospectively in time and talk about the mistakes you made. And then there's a double standard to it too. When Jada Pinkett Smith slept with August Alsina, he was 17. If it's immature for a man at 17, a woman at 17, then we're just establishing now that his 17 was probably less mature than a woman's 17. But when a woman does it, she's a cougar, and it's okay.
I completely agree. But if I went after, at my big age, a dude at 20 with skid marks at his drawers and told him, this is what I can do for you to get you where I am. You want to drive this car? Come here, let me show you something. You want to have this house? Come here, let me show you something. And because he wants that he's going to allow me to lead him and to guide him. So it comes with something. You
I agree with you on that part. Money and power means something, but it doesn't mean the right flag. Go ahead.
Yeah, all right.
That's my sister right there. I love going heads up with Lady D.
All right, y'all messing up my Black Love series. I'm not kidding about no Cassidy. Okay. Yeah. So I can't even give my. Okay. Let me just wrap mine up real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. I really quick. I just really think that the internet has proven to us that people are a lot. There's a lot more we've learned about individuals than just generalizing men and women. I think to your point, Devin, if a woman is sleeping with somebody else and he ain't figured it out, well, he's probably dumb as rocks. Because I promise you, well, okay, you say I don't even know if they faking in the bedroom, but all right. All right, one more thing. All right, come on, let me keep going. Okay, what does love have to do with anything? So, I appreciate everybody's commenting in, and I really do. And this is what I wanted to end with this because I believe this is another word, just like toxic, just like feminism, all these words, people define them on their own terms. And so I just wanted to know what you all think love has to do with anything, or if it's even necessary for the relationship. And if so, how so? Because I'll share my thoughts at the end. But sister, what does love have to do with anything as it relates to a relationship?
I think when it comes to women, or me, I'm gonna speak for myself. If I love you, that's gonna determine how I treat you. If I care about you, I'm gonna treat you differently. If I don't give a damn about you, you ain't gonna get the best.
You setting their car on fire. We got it.
You're just not gonna get the best of me, even in our like dating phase. Like you're not gonna get 100% of me. I'm just not gonna give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like if you say something stupid to me or do the wrong thing, I cut you off in a minute. If I don't care nothing about you, I'll go to lunch with this dude at this time, brunch with this dude, dinner with you, and just look at all y'all and treat you all the same because I don't care about you and how you feel. I don't care to coddle your your feelings and what you're thinking, you know what I'm saying? But if I love you, I'm thinking about you in a lot of aspects in my life. I'm thinking about you before I make moves and decisions and things like that. But that's just who I am. But once you piss me off and make me no longer love you, we're going back to square one. But if I truly love you, I'm going to treat you. I'm going to treat you different, and I'm going to give you passes that you wouldn't have got when I didn't care that much about you.
Okay, I'm gonna pin that because I got one more for us all that I'm gonna ask. But Black, what does love have to do with anything in a relationship?
Simply put, for me, it depends on the nature of the relationship. If we're talking friendship or familial, it has everything to do with it. Devin talked about being loyal. With my friends, with my family, there is nothing I wouldn't do for you. And if I love you as a friend, I'm all in 1,000%. I don't necessarily know that I'm qualified anymore to answer that when it comes to romantic relationships because I don't know what that even looks like anymore.
Wow.
I started my show, Real Talk for Real Men, 5 years ago? And the very first episode, I said, I don't understand what's happening in the dating scene anymore. I'm just as confused today as I was when I first started. The goalpost keeps moving, and I don't know what's going on out there. I don't necessarily know how to approach women in a sense. You've seen shows I've done about that. I don't mean approach them just in general, but I'm talking about I don't know what they want. I don't know what the expectation. The goalpost keeps moving, and so when it comes to love, I've not kissed a woman romantically in the mouth in over 5 years.
Wow.
Sucked toes, ate ass, done all kinds of nasty shit, and kissed her in the mouth. Haven't had a romantic kiss in over 5 years. And I equate kissing with being, see, y'all laughing at me, but I equate kissing with emotions. I'm so serious. And so when you ask me about what love has to do with it, I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that anymore.
Fantastic. I appreciate that. Miss Candace, what does love have to do with anything?
Ooh, man.
I know. I come here.
Love. Love should have everything to do with it, if you ask me. If you're not dealing with love, you're probably dealing with hate, or you right there in the middle. Love is a frequency. And it's supposed to be a very light energy. Love allows you to put forth the effort, like she was saying earlier. Love allows you to commit. It allows you to push yourself. You know, you want love on your side. You really do. You need love internally. You can't really love nobody else until you find love within yourself. You can't even love your own children the right way. Some people confuse what love might be with something else. That's another thing. It's another issue. People don't really know what love is, or they can't really identify it very well because they haven't probably kissed somebody in over 5 years in the mouth romantically. You say you've been eating ass?
Oh yeah, I've sucked toes, ate ass.
You have put your mouth in other places, but you have not romantically, sensually.
A lot of these women, their mouth is nastier than their toes and their ass.
Oh Lord, you sound like somebody I know. Listen, well, let me tell you something. When is the last time that you built? And building takes time, so this is not something you do overnight. It's not like a one-night stand. When is the last time you've entertained a relationship with a woman through authenticity?
Define authenticity.
So authenticity is like being spiritually naked. So you're not hiding who you really are. You don't have the ego as your representation. She see you, you see her. There's no confusion in between. So I think
like the first part, one of the questions you asked about our biggest fear, it's been forever, because one of my biggest fears is commitment. I haven't been willing to give that of myself because I don't expect that to be reciprocated in return. And so for me, no, it's just been easier for me to do what I'm doing and being single on my own.
think that's where the issue. I think that's where the issue lies, is because
possibly
it takes work. It takes work. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it is a cop out when you do what's most comfortable for you because you're that scared. Listen, let me tell you something. We're too old. We're too old.
But that's just it. Everything you're saying, it sounds beautiful and it's idealistic, but I don't see that. I don't see that. Sitting on this panel to have this intellectual conversation, but what's in these streets, I don't come across that. I've even done shows that where do you meet somebody who's looking for that? Not at church, not at the gas station, not at the store, not at work. So I love what you're saying, but where do you meet somebody that has that mindset?
Okay, well, first of all, you have to start off with that mindset, because right now it sounds like you starting off with a failing intent, like you going in it believing that nothing is going to come out of it, nothing's going to be reciprocated. So you certainly don't want to go out and try to attract nobody when that's how you think, because you're gonna
help me out here right now, because you're new. Where do I meet a woman with that type of intent? Tell me.
It's not about where you meet, because it's women everywhere.
I can't get an answer to that.
Listen, I'm about to tell you. It's not about where you meet nobody. There's no specific location that has a certain group of women that's just gonna come to you and vibrate at the same level you are.
So where they growing them at?
Women are everywhere. You got two women on this.
Women are everywhere, but not with that mindset.
Let me tell you something. Listen to me. You can go to any woman. You can go to myself. You can go to this lady right here. You can go anywhere. If you approach them correctly, that means don't be so worried about what a woman gonna say to you, how she gonna react to you, how she look, how she sound. Don't be the woman. Be the man. Do your part, and then watch how watch how the interaction changes.
I just don't think that's realistic. I love your words. That's not realistic.
Okay.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic. That's not the real world out there. That's not what's happening out there.
Forget what's happening out there. What's going on in her?
Where else am I gonna? So we talking about the metaverse?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to talk about the
I'm just saying.
It's that you have to be a clean person internally. You have to be a clean person internally, and then you have to go out there, and then, you what you put out is what you get back. That's all. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that in terms.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you, it's not the women you have come across. It's who you are once you meet these women. It's the person. It's your mindset. Once you've approached these women, it's not the women you're meeting. If you change your mindset, if you change your heart, if you eliminate those fears that you have,
I love it.
Your reality
that view is just way too simplistic.
All right.
It's too simplistic.
All right. Hold on. All right. Thank y'all. Final thoughts. No, let me say my thoughts. I can go on by my okay. So, all right. Listen, real talk for real men. He want anybody on this show. Y'all go, honey.
Miss Candace, I need you to come on.
Candace, he needs you, but not today. Hold on. All right, so this hold on one more time. All right, I'm just making sure. All right.
Damn, y'all. Y'all gonna start bringing in women to hook him up with in a minute. Like
listen,
what y'all doing?
That's right. They don't know. That boy got $7 waiting. So, but we had it. Okay, so here. Okay, hold on. Let me get where I'm at. What I mean when I say, what does love have to do with anything? Ultimately, and Candace, you made a great point about, especially about being confused and as far as like people loving. It's a difference how you love your children versus you love someone that you're in a romantic relationship with, and even to Devin's point and Black point. My thing is that you even have people that say we fall in and out of love. And then you have people that make statements like, well, love made me do some stupid things. I really don't know what all that means. And this is what I'm saying, why we got to have conversation, right? And continue to talk through things, because this is the thing. If love does all of these things, again, for the sake of time, I'm not going to ask this other question, but how do you fall in and fall out of it? And I guess that's a question you have to just ask yourself, especially when these are the things and the reasons why we do certain things. Again, Tiger Woods can hold a golf club. Michael Jordan can have a basketball, and they can do better things with them than I can. All I'm saying is if you do have your hand or your grasp on love, make sure you know what to do with it and you know how to use it. And then make sure that you're not using it in a way to where you can treat it like a yo-yo. You roll it out, you come back up, and all that kind of stuff. I'm just making sure that love is not the reason why you're making all your decisions, because unfortunately that's not the case. I think Tony Braxton had a song that was on Boomerang, why didn't love bring you home last night? Okay, I get it, but right. So, and my point is that I want us to use more other skills besides taking terms out of context and making it an excuse or a reason for why we are or are not doing certain things. And I'll just leave that at that. So, all right. Y'all made me work tonight. I ain't worked in a minute now. Hold on. So, but thank you so much. Listen, great show. I believe we
Absolutely.
got a lot of content out here and a lot of conversation. Miss Candace, I definitely want to appreciate you for being on. What'd you say, Miss Demi? Lamar, do you have a show tonight? I don't know if he do or not, but he'll tell you in just a second. But listen, it's final thoughts time. Miss Candace, thank you so much. Give me your final thoughts, ma'am.
What is my final thoughts about the whole?
Just a little bit.
Just
Yeah, don't take me all the way back. Yeah, no.
Well, no, I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed you guys. I enjoyed everything about tonight. I love talking about men and women, especially in the community, and more so cooperation versus competition. But we should be talking about it all, though.
1000%. 1000%. Look, again, man, thank you so much for being on. Black, my brother, I love you.
Yeah, my final thought is just appreciation for intelligent Black women that this show presents, and not just this panel, Miss Demi and just Miss Toria. The thing about true wisdom is you have to surround yourself with people that you can learn from. Folks, I'm a work in progress, so you're a much added appreciative addition to the show, Miss Candace, because I love your conviction. I respect it tremendously. Devin, you already know what I think of you, sweetheart. And I love the fact that you guys give me so much to think about. I've said this before. When the show ends, it doesn't just end for me, believe it or not. The way my brain works is I let this swirl around. I think about what we're saying, and I just appreciate being able to have a conversation where it's honest, where people don't have to agree with you and you get to see somebody else's perspective. And I thank you for sharing that with me, because I'm trying to be better. I truly am. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Candace, for trying, but we've been with him for a while. We know where that gets you.
I'm still getting better.
Baby. I mean, listen, honey. You know. Anyway, okay. Sister, come on here.
Couple things. I enjoyed that extra dose of estrogen. That was nice to add a couple of more ovaries. I appreciate that. Second of all, women fake it except Brenton wife. Brenton wife be telling us all the time. She don't mean no harm. She mean it. You a stallion, baby. She ain't playing. She ain't tired. She ain't got nothing else to do. She ain't sick of your black ass. She mean it. We put it down. Third
I want you to read between all these lines. Read between all these lines, honey. Read between all of them.
Third thing, women, you know me. I say keep your standards as high as giraffe coochie. Don't let nobody, sway you in the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? You got to love yourself. And if you're in a relationship, the main thing I can tell you about a relationship is don't let anybody define your relationship except for you and the person in that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Just try not to lose yourself. Try not to be dumb as a box of rocks. You know what I'm saying? And keep other people from defining what your relationship should look like and what that means for you. because not any relationship will be just like the next person, because these are two individual personalities that are coming together. And if you give a damn about outside noise, I promise you your relationship will not work. But at the same time, don't be no fool. And if he act a fool or she act a fool, kick their ass to the curb and move on, because you need to put yourself first. And life is too short to be fooling with some BS that's going to shorten your life. You can get D anywhere. Like I said, the stuff that come out of it nasty anyway. You don't need none of that. You can buy things that are quicker, faster, and cleaner than anything you can get from a dude. So y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it.
You better be lucky I care about you, girl. I had something to say. Huh? I'm gonna put it up. You better be lucky. I told you I ain't slow. Now I ain't slow. I ain't gonna say it. All right, just know right now. You withdrew a few dollars out of your account on me now. You just know. My God. Oh man, listen. I miss my brother Kenny, man.
Mr. Kenny,
do, man, for you folks, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. Again, I always love talking to y'all. We've got 3 more episodes, and we're gonna do what we do. I think my boy gonna join us, and so we're gonna finish it out strong this year. There's so much to talk about. But listen, y'all, real quick, I got a quick question for you. If I was to tell you, what does somebody look like who has a hard head? And your grandmama used to tell me, somebody had a hard head, make a soft behind. What type of person would that look like?
My son.
What'd you say, Candace?
Good answer.
A hard head makes a soft behind. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Good answer, Miss Devin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gonna say the same thing, Black?
Yeah.
Your son?
Yes, Lord.
Okay. Well, I don't think I got no video of y'all kids, but here's what I got though. If a hard head made a soft behind, I guess it would look like this.
People.
I'm gonna just tell y'all, listen, I really don't know what that means. I just only know that if that boy grows up to be a man, I guarantee you, he definitely gonna be slower than all the women he gonna date. I'm gonna just tell you just like that. Number one, he ain't knocked no sense in there. He done give himself about 4 concussions on top of his head with that. So I get it. Make sure y'all don't date no boy to keep taking them legs upside his head, because he really ain't gonna help y'all. Would you say Candace wasn't ready? Oh no, she wasn't ready. Sorry, yeah, that's what I do. But listen, again, appreciate y'all being on so much. That is Lee, that's Candace, and that's Miss Devin. And listen, y'all, we'll see y'all on Monday. Peace.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to y'all. Hopefully, we won't have too much turkey where we can't talk, but we'll find out later.